We begin here. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the party's meeting with its councillors reflect its commitment to serve the people of South Africa. Mbalula was speaking at the conclusion of the ANC engagements with party representatives at local government level held at Nasrec in Johannesburg. The ANC Secretary General has reaffirmed the party's stance on rooting out corruption. He's urged councillors to put the needs of the communities above personal gains. He's also stressed that service delivery should be prioritized while building trust in communities. He further highlighted that councillors should account to serve communities.
Be left without clear signs that the war plan is being implemented. Councillors were further instructed to lead by example in restoring discipline, humility and integrity in public life. They must not only reject corruption and nepotism, but actively expose and report it whenever it occurs, even within ANC structures. They must demonstrate servant leadership, placing the people's needs above personal interest. They are to ensure that municipal resources are managed prudently and directed to projects that improve the quality of life of ordinary residents. The NEC also reminded councillors that they are not just local representatives, but political leaders charged with building trust between communities and the African National Congress. They were instructed to reconnect with residents through door-to-door visits, problem-solving campaigns and listening programs. Councillors must rebuild community confidence by showing that the ANC is not distant, but present and responsive. This requires constant communication, open feedback channels, and a willingness to confront difficult issues honestly. Councillors were told that they must champion local economic development initiatives, supporting small businesses, cooperatives, township and village enterprises, and ensuring that women and youth are prioritized in opportunities for employment and development. They were directed to work closely with civil society, faith-based organizations and traditional leaders to create inclusive partnerships for development. They were equally directed to work and collaborate in partnership with the private sector and business in our communities. Finally, councillors were reminded that accountability is not negotiable. They must report monthly to ANC structures, participate actively in war rooms, and subject themselves to performance reviews. Those who fail to meet the standards of delivery, discipline, and service set by the ANC will be removed.
Right, let's expand the conversation. SABC News political reporter Samkele Maseko joins us. Samkele, very good evening to you. The ANC Secretary General certainly didn't mince his words. How was his messaging received?
Well, it's not the Secretary General of the that was a press briefing that Fikile Mbalula held after that particular long day event where the ANC was engaging with its over 4,900 and something councillors across the country. The president of the ANC, Ramaphosa, is the one who in fact gave that closing address on the marching orders to the ANC's membership, speaking largely about ANC. When there is a sewage that is spilling in the streets of a ward that an ANC councillor is representing the people in, that particular councillor must get that particular leakage of water or get that particular issue of sewage running through the streets sorted within 48 hours. The ANC president speaking about how the ANC must be decisive and take action against municipal officials who are not following executive decisions that are taken, and that they should be ultimately fired. And also speaking about how ANC mayors who are underperforming, they will also be redeployed if they are found to do so, and that councillors must have report backs to the organization on a quarterly basis of all of the work that they are doing in order to take the ANC back to the people and to be a true representative of the wall-to-wall coverage that they have in all wards of the country, in having over 4,900 councillors in South Africa's councils.
We heard President Ramaphosa also quoting from the ANC's Eye of a Needle policy. I mean, how far did he go into the pressing issues, the governance failures, service delivery, as he did expand a bit on corruption and the impact of it? But what about the elephant in the room, those issues that are getting residents out on the streets?
They speak emphatically about that issue, particularly noting that it's unheard of and it should not happen that people go on for days on end without having the basic necessity of life, which is a human violation if you don't provide people with water, which is currently happening in the city of Johannesburg, where some parts of the city in the south of Johannesburg went on for days on end without having water within those areas. You go to affluent areas such as Sandton and Bryanston, they are also at times faced with water shortages, particularly when you look at the bulk infrastructure that is failing with the city of Johannesburg. He was speaking about how he was traveling one of these recent times with the ANC's national chairperson and Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe, and he found that on his way to the airport there were no street lights working, saying that it is unheard of and that should not be happening, where a metro municipality like Tshwane, like Ekurhuleni, like Joburg, the street lights are not working. You do see that the Johannesburg Roads Agency, the province of Gauteng, they are on a rampant campaign to try and fix the street lights across the province. You've got about 600 traffic lights across the 3 metro municipalities in Gauteng that are not working. The president saying that can't be, and that he called Mayor Tadamorero of Johannesburg to say that these issues must be fixed. So the bread and butter issues, the day-to-day issues of basic service delivery were ultimately addressed by the ANC president, saying that it is the ANC councillors who must make sure that these services are provided to the people and they must live amongst the people, but also speaking about dilapidated municipal infrastructure and saying that that must be upgraded in a speedily way so that it makes sure that people do receive those basic services like the basic necessity of life, which is water.
And how does this gathering now fit into the broader trajectory of ANC internal politics, especially with looming conferences and elections?
When he spoke about that particular issue of divisions in the ANC, he spoke about the Sokotle local municipality in the Northwest Province, which has ultimately collapsed, and how one of the big South African dairy companies, like Clover, in fact, ended up having to close shop because of a lack of services that are being provided within that particular municipality in Sokotle, saying that it is ANC factional battles that spilled over to the governance of the municipality that led to the municipality crumbling and failing in the nature that it's failing currently, saying that that should not be allowed to happen. And speaking about how they've had to work hard to turn around the eThekwini municipality, that Dr. Keisha Slubisi is doing a wonderful job with Mayor Cyril Kaba in trying to turn that particular municipality around, saying that the ANC must also go and learn from other political parties such as the Democratic Alliance, which he says in his own admission, Cyril Ramaphosa, that the DA governs better in urban areas than the African National Congress, and that the ANC should go learn from the city of Cape Town, from Stellenbosch municipality. But one wonders, if you go to the city of Cape Town, yes, sure, the city center is beautiful, it's well governed, it's clean, they get clean audits, they govern it properly. But are the services being provided to the people of Kukuli, to Kaili, Chanyanga, Mfuleni, Mitchell's Plain, and other District 6 areas within the Cape Metro? And that's some of the bone of contention right now with that admission by the President of the African National Congress. But when it comes to the books of municipalities that are led by the African National Congress, those books are often done by external service providers, in the words of Ramaphosa. They are not even done well. Some of them are cooked. And that ultimately tells you that when it comes to governance, the ANC is totally failing in its municipalities, and they always get adverse findings from the Auditor General. And it says that is a painstaking part that he has to take as the president of the African National Congress and of the country, that his own municipalities run by his own party are seemingly run down when it comes to issues of governance and compliance to procurement regulations and supply chain regulations of the country.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, giving us a nice wrap of what came out of that gathering. SABC News political reporter Samkele Maseko.